What's up guys, this is this entrepreneur here today with a new video. Today we're doing a fun video. This one is called the 10 hyped scents that I'm embarrassed I haven't tried. So in my area, a lot of stuff is hard to smell. There is next to no niche where I am. Also, it takes a while to get new and hyped designers in here too. So this is gonna be a list of fragrances. Some of them are brand new, some of them are old and I should have smelled, but I just haven't for whatever reason. These are 10 very popular scents that I have not tried. Fair warning, some of these I may have smelled in Sephora on a piece of paper once, and I completely forget how they smell. But some of them I have smelled before, I just have zero memory of them. And anyway, 10 fairly popular scents. Let's kick into it, guys. The first one here is, I think it's a 2017 release. It gets a ton of hype. This is from John Varvatos and it is called Artisan Pure. So this gets a ton of attention as a big compliment getter. It's supposed to be one of the next best up and coming designer fragrances. I've never even seen the bottle in person. It's supposed to be in that same family as Dior Sauvage. But anyway, I've never ever seen the bottle. Believe me, if I did, I would jump all over that chance and get my nose on it, but never even seen it. So anyway, that is the first one, John Varvatos Artisan Pure. Another one, this one I don't hear a whole lot of talk about because this is apparently far from mass pleasing. I might have smelled it, but I don't remember it at all. Another designer from Lalique, it is Encre Noire. So this is one of the cheaper vetiver scents, and I think it's one that a lot of guys, when they start dabbling into more daring scents, they go and they check out Encre Noire because it's a great price for supposedly a pretty intricate scent. And I like that. I like niche quality designers, or just bordering on niche quality designers. I don't know, I haven't smelled it. I've never smelled it, ever. Again, I don't know if I've ever seen the bottle, which is crazy, but anyway, this is one that gets a lot of talk. I'm not a huge fan of vetiver, so I haven't been super jacked up to go to my way to smell it. But again, another one that gets some talk, not so much anymore, but Lalique Encre Noire is the second one on this list. The third one is kind of a tie. It's two fragrances, but they're both exclusives that are now not exclusive. They're from what was once my favorite fragrance brand, and it's still in my top 5 fragrance houses, Parfums de Marly. These two are Acaster and Carlisle. I haven't smelled either of them. I know they're available on Lucky Scent now. I just have not placed an order, I guess. Honestly, one of them, I think it's Carlisle, is supposed to smell kind of like Ojon and Herod, both of which I own and love. So, I mean, I'm excited to smell it. And like I said, it's one of my favorite houses. I just, for whatever reason, have not checked them out yet. Expect a first impressions when I do, but man, I don't know why I haven't jumped on these. I guess it's just a matter of finding more fragrances on Lucky Scent that I'd like to sample and then making a cart. But anyway, I haven't tried them yet. So those two, Acaster and Carlisle from Parfums de Marly, are tied at my third spot here. Number 4 is one that I used to think was my favorite designer. I think I like the hype more than the scent itself. I'm of course talking about Dior Intense right now. I've never smelled the silver collar version of the bottle, the true vintage. There's the silver collar from 2007, the second reformulation in 2011, which I have owned, and it's good. It's got great performance, but apparently the smell's a little different. And the new one, which I have not tried out yet. So anyway, I've never tried the vintage silver collar version. It's funny because it is still a really good designer fragrance. I never really wore it, so I don't really see a need to own it, but I've always wanted to try the silver collar version just because of the amount of hype it gets. So Dior Intense silver collar vintage 2007 is the fourth one. The fifth one is another discontinued fragrance that gets a ton of talk as like a niche quality banger, awesome gentleman scent. Never tried it. I've tried a fragrance similar. I am talking about, from Gucci, Envy. I've never tried this either. It doesn't really sound up my speed. I think it's supposed to be kind of one of those old school masculine, more barbershop leaning scents. I don't love most of those, but this one gets so much talk, I feel like I should know it just because of the talk and supposedly the quality. I think it's called one of the last great Gucci fragrances, and for that reason, I'd love to check it out, but I just have not had a chance to yet, despite the hype, despite me going through a barbershop fragrance phase. Maybe someday. That was number 5, Gucci Envy. The 6th one is one that gets a ton of talk. I haven't tried it. I've tried the Eau de Toilette. I tried the Eau de Parfum probably about 3 years ago when I was at the start of my fragrance journey. I tried it on paper, and I got such a negative reaction to that scent off of paper. I have not tried it since. It is Bleu de Chanel Eau de Parfum. So I know there's Bleu de Chanel Parfum now, which probably won't get here for a year, but Bleu de Chanel Eau de Parfum, like I said, I smelt it when I started my journey. I smelt it and Eau de Toilette both on paper. I like the EDT a lot more, and I ended up buying that eventually. But the Eau de Parfum, just for whatever reason, it rubbed my nose the wrong way, and I really, really hated it. Have not tried it since. I haven't even picked it up in a department store to try it on paper again. But it gets so much talk, so many people love it, and I really need to get my nose on it again and spend a proper time with it, spend some proper sampling with it. Just because of the hype it gets, it does sound kind of intriguing to me. I do own the Eau de Toilette. I'm not sure if I'm gonna keep it, especially not if the Eau de Parfum really grew on me. But anyway, that was number 6, Bleu de Chanel Eau de Parfum. Well, number 7 is kind of an older designer fragrance. Again, I have smelled this on paper, I am sure, but I don't remember it at all, and it's a super popular one, so I don't know why I haven't really taken the time to sample it. It is from Armani, and it's Armani Code. I've spent a good long time with Code Profumo, I know Code Colonia, I know all the flankers you can get right now, but Armani Code, just the plain Jane Armani Code, I've tried it, I'm sure I've tried it once on paper. I'm sure I've tried it once on paper. Other than that, it has never touched my skin. I've never gotten a sample. I've never spent any time with it at all. So I'm really, at this point, don't even remember what it smells like. Because like I said, it was on paper, and I think, if I'm remembering correctly, it was 1 to 2 years ago. So I'm really embarrassed that I have not spent any time with that one at all. Because like I said, it's one of those older designer fragrances that still gets a lot of love. You can still find it in every department store. And for that reason, I probably should know it, but I just have not taken the time. It just does not interest me. But as a reviewer, I should probably know these things. Anyway, that was number 7, Armani Code. Number 8 is another vintage / discontinued fragrance. It's kind of a tie, kind of a toss up here. I'm talking about La Nuit de l'Homme. I have never smelled the vintage, the original, super dark original vintage, and I've never smelled La Nuit Frozen Cologne, which is apparently quite similar, or at least the closest to those vintage La Nuit batches. I did have a 2014 batch of La Nuit de l'Homme at one time. Didn't love it, very poor performance, and I did end up selling it, but it's one of those iconic fragrances that I feel like I need to smell the vintage someday, just to understand what it was like, and maybe if the smell is a bit more dark and it performs a bit better, I might go hunting for a vintage batch. But up till now, I have not smelled the vintage. I have not smelled Frozen Cologne. Let me know down in the comments if you think the two are similar, if they're both worth checking out, or just go for the vintage La Nuit and forget Frozen Cologne. Anyway, I haven't tried either of them, so that was number 8. Number 9 is again one of those kind of tie. My favorite designer fragrance right now is probably Carolina Herrera CH Men. If not my number 1, it's my number 2. It's amazing. I've smelled CH Privé, and I've smelled CH Men Sport, but I have not tried any of the rarer flankers like Grand Tour or Central Park. I think Africa is another one. I haven't tried any of them, and that is my 9th thing that I'm embarrassed I haven't tried, because this is one of my favorite fragrances, period, and I haven't had a chance to try the flankers, which I feel like I should. But again, I have never seen any of these bottles in person. From what I understand, they're quite rare. I have not seen samples online, which kind of sucks. Being that this is one of my favorite fragrances, I really think I should know these flankers, and I would love to try them someday. Just have not had a chance to yet, and I'm kind of embarrassed that I haven't, because, like I said, one of my favorites, and flankers generally smell a bit similar. Maybe one of them's better, I don't know. Anyway, number 9 is the rarer CH Men flankers. What is number 10? Well, this is another niche I saved. Probably the most popular on this list for last. At number 10, we've got what is called the king of not only niche fragrances, but I feel like people call it just the king of men's fragrances, period, right now. Creed Ventus. I have never smelled any of the super legendary fruity batches. I think one of them is like the Z01 batch, and I know there's more, but I'm not the biggest Creed Ventus fan. That being said, I've never smelled one of these legendary fruity batches. Is there a big difference? I mean, I don't know. I've smelled 3 different batches of Creed Ventus. I owned one with heavy pineapple and heavy birch. Did not like that. Too sharp, too offensive. I owned one with too much smoke for me, and that was very mediocre at best. And my first ever sample of Creed Ventus was one that actually leaned more on the fresh notes. I don't know which batch it was because it was just a carded sample from Creed, but that's probably the one that I got the most compliments with, funny enough. Even despite owning a bottle for 2 years, my tiny little, I think they're 2 mils, my tiny little sample beat that as far as compliments go. Anyway, I would love to try one of these legendary fruity batches just because people talk so much about Ventus, this awesome compliment getter, and from owning having experience with 3 different batches, 1 was solid, 2 were not good at all, and one of those got me some very negative feedback. That's the bottle I used to own myself. So I'd like to try one of these fruity batches because I don't have a whole lot of faith in the fragrance. Another thing is that smell-alike fragrances like Mancera Cedrat Boisé and Roja Parfums Elysium, they both lean more heavy on the fruits, and I love those 2. They're really, really good, and I'm going to buy one, but I'm just wondering if a fruity Ventus batch would be closer to them and if it's worth checking out. Don't feel like paying the super high price tag, but it's something that I wish I knew, and it's something that I feel like I should know as a reviewer just before I write off Ventus, because I know I don't say a whole lot of positive things about it. That's because I haven't had a whole lot of positive experiences with it, but I should try these fruity batches before I completely write it off, and if I do someday in the future, you will for sure be seeing your first impressions of that. So at number 10, to cap this list off, these are no order by the way, at number 10 we've got the legendary batches of Creed Ventus. Guys, let me know down in the comments, what did you think of my 10 picks here? Is it kind of shocking that I haven't tried some of these? Armani Code, come on. Bleu de Chanel, Eau de Parfum. I walk by them every time I go in Sephora or Hudson's Bay, which is our department store here. Just never pick them up. Never. Also, let me know if you'd like to see reviews of any of these fragrances, first impressions of any of these fragrances. Like I said, even the ones I've smelled on paper, I don't remember at all, so I think that'd be really cool content at some point. Also, let us know if there are any super hyped fragrances that you're a little embarrassed you haven't smelled yet. Guys, this has been The Sentrepreneur. If you enjoyed this video and haven't done so already, I would encourage you to subscribe down below to my YouTube channel. There's new fragrance content coming out all the time. Hit the thumbs up button for being embarrassed about hype fragrances you didn't try. Don't forget to hit that bell to see when I come out with a new video. Follow me on Snapchat. My name is down there in the description. You will see Scents of the Day's new pickups. You might even see me get one of these one day. I'm not sure, and at this rate, it's not looking good, but I need to smell these, man. I need to smell these, not only as a reviewer, but as a frag head. I need to. It's something that should be known. Anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. I'll see you in the next one. Have an awesome day.